Hi everybody, Grandad here, and we're on a little adventure today.
Yeah.
And we got Sam with us, and this is his territory. This is where Sam comes for a walk, and it's known as Llanymynech Hill in Pant. So Sam's leading the way. We can see some rocks ahead, so off we go. Where are we going, Sam?
We're going straight up.
Straight up the rocks. Now back in the day this used to be a huge quarry where they mined all the limestone, and then they took it to a limestone kilns where they crushed it up and burnt it with coal and turned it into limestone. Oh, there's people on the rocks already doing a bit of climbing, which is interesting.
There's some more people over there as well on that
And there's
side.
some climbing up there as well.
Yeah.
Gosh, they're daring. Now these rocks are really quite high. It just goes to show you, those people on the rocks there, just how high it is. And there's one or two areas around here that have lime kilns, and there's also a tramway track, which we may see when we go a bit further up. We may see the tramway.
And there's these steel people that are just 2D, and it's like to show that people were mining in the olden days.
Oh yes, and there's another area I think they call it Oggie's Cave or something like that, or the Ogre's Cave, and it's where tunnels where the miners went in looking for copper, because as well as the limestone which they used from here, this area is quite famous for copper. And apparently the Romans mined copper here back in the day, so it's quite an ancient place and very interesting. So it's making a nice little walk. Now also up here, they're not out at the moment, but they find some special little plants called orchids, and they're called bee orchids, and they're very special because there's not a lot of places. Somebody's had a campsite, yeah. And when we were up here one day, it was orchid season, and we found quite a few of these little tiny blue, purpley coloured bee orchids.
Look, looks like the 2D statues are ahead. The brown
Oh,
ones.
Sam's just said there's, can see the statues. I can't see them properly, but there are something going on there. Now whether there's any orchids in this gravel here, I don't know. This is where we found them before, and people used to put stones around just to protect the orchid flower. And if you see a little pile of stones, sometimes that shows that there's an orchid there.
Oh look, there's like a little island over there, and you have to go across the log to get to it.
Oh, there's a little bridge.
Bit overgrown though.
Bit overgrown, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
But it's very high and very dangerous. And people are climbing up there with their ropes and tackle.
And you
I
see
certainly
all
wouldn't
these
like to
rocks
try
on
it.
the floor?
There's lots of rocks.
Yeah, and they're from the wall.
When it fell down.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go along and see these little men here. See what they're all about.
I've seen quite a lot of butterflies as well.
Oh, yeah, butterflies. This is probably a good area for different kinds of butterflies. I don't know of any scarce ones, but there might be. Haven't seen any creatures at all yet.
No, but here's the brown people.
What, a butterfly? Oh, that could be a rare one. Now, as Sam said, these silhouettes have been cut out of metal to represent miners with their hammers and various things breaking the rock. And they're quite big. Go and stand by it, Sam, show how big it is. Yeah, it's quite big. It's quite big, and it's been cut out in the shape of a man with a hammer. And there's another one here that's very similar.
This one's even taller.
This one's even taller, and he's got a hammer. He's got a hammer, and I think he's just leaning on it, watching the other man.
Yeah.
But It's a lovely place to visit for a walk, and we'll go on round a bit further. There's another notice board here, I see. See what that's all about.
I guess it says the same thing, like danger falling rocks keep to main path.
Could do.
It says that. And there's also some caves up ahead as well.
Oh yeah, this is where they used to mine for copper. And
But I don't think you can go inside the cave.
no, I think they've put a big...
There's something there as well.
Oh look, an old... yeah, that looks like a bin of some sort. It could be from the tramway. There used to be a tramway running along here that used to take the ore to the top of a slope where there was an incline. And yeah, you're right, this is a fallen rocks sign, telling you not to get too close because rocks do sometimes tumble down. I mean, some of them even tumble to this side of the path when a very big one comes. So you have to be really careful. You just never know when something's going to dislodge and send a big boulder crashing down. Now I can just see up ahead a little building. Now I think this is where the tramway used to be.
Yeah, there's like a little
And it's got a drum on it by the look of it. And that presumably had a rope of some sort.
It's like it's two walls and like a circle that goes around in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's where the rope went for the tramway.
It's like there's a sign over there. We could go and have a look at that.
Let's just have a little look at this sign, see if it tells us anything. Oh yes, it's got something on it. Yes, this is very good. We'll try and focus in on this, try and read it. Let's reduce our size down a bit, that's better. Don't know why we're so magnified, but we'll try and get the sign in now. Blasting at 5 o'clock, it says, 5 p.m. And it shows the rock and the inclined plane where we've just walked up, and the tram lines and men working, and the tunnels, the various tunnels, and a map shows the blacksmith shop and store and men working the tracks. So that's very interesting. So now we'll go on a bit further to see this little building here with a big drum on it.
Yeah.
Once when we came up here we found a little lizard sitting on a rock waiting for the sun to come up.
Looking at the map.
Well, I don't know whether we'll see him today, but this is where the inclined plane was.
Looks like there's stuff growing on top of that wall type thing.
Yeah, there is. Probably had a steam engine at the side there and something to turn this drum would go round. Whether it still turns, it looks as if it might be.
I think you can go underneath it as well.
Yeah, there's a path down there. We'll just have a little look down this path. There's another brown butterfly I've seen. There are lots of butterflies and bugs. Now this is where the inclined plane starts, and as you can see there's sleepers, and I don't know what that is. And this is where there's another miner here.
Yeah.
Another miner pulling on a lever, which presumably there's a little bit of track there as well. I can see 2 tracks.
Oh yeah.
So this is where the ore carts would go down into the village to another smelting area where they would smelt the limestone in big kilns. We may visit there one day as another little walk out and go to the lime kilns because they're quite interesting. But we're up on the mountain today, and this is the drum that took the cables that presumably wound the car up and down. Now it looks as if they've restored it a little bit, because I'm sure this wasn't here the last time I came. And there's a little sign here about it which has been just left on the side, so we'll just have a little look at this so that people can see what it's all about.
Can you pick it up or anything?
Well, it probably will be picked up, but I might as well leave it there
Yeah.
so I can photograph it. And that'll tell you all about these workings using this drum to take the ore down into the village where it would be smelted, and the English breaking drum house. That's really interesting. We'll go on a bit further, see what else we can see along this trail.
Where the caves are going to be.
Yeah, this is where we're hopefully, if we go on along here, we might see
A cave?
Yeah, we might see a cave, you never know.
We have to keep the camera on here so we can see any caves.
Well, we can go in 10 minutes.
There's a cave!
Aha!
Okay.
Sam was right.
We found a cave.
We found a cave. Now there's a little path to it, so we might walk up. As I say, you have to be careful with dangerous falling rocks. We just have to hope none fall today. But this is one of the caves. If we go through the bushes, this is the entrance to, I think it's Oggie's cave they call this. Huge cave into the rock. And they boarded it all off, so you can't get through anymore. But you used to be able to see in, but you can't even see in anymore because they put tin on it. Obviously people have been going in over the top, but they've made it so nobody can go in now. So that's one of the caves.
I think there's actually a cave here.
There's actually 2 caves, Sam says. So I don't know. You might be right. So on we go a bit further.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Did this lead to a cave?
I think that's the edge of that cave. Certainly lots of nice wildflowers up here. And as I say, it's not the season for orchids, so we probably won't see them. They come on early in the year, I think. One of the first plants to grow, and by the time these other big weeds come up, the orchids have disappeared. There's a nice little butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
See if he's going to settle anywhere. No, oh he's
He's going for that
yeah, he's
flower.
settled on there. Oh no, he's flown off. We weren't able to get him. But there's lots of little brown butterflies, which are pretty pretty. And
Another brown one.
I don't know whether we've got time to go right up onto the very top. You also find fossils up here. The fossils up here aren't particularly interesting. They're mainly corals, but and they're rather big. So it's an old coral reef, this limestone, part of an old coral reef.
Yeah.
And you can't see the rock much now for
Might be a cave in
for
there,
trees.
but we just can't see it because of all the trees.
Yeah, you might be right. Could very well be a cave in there. It's quite steep.
There's like a wall as well. Like that.
Somebody built a wall there, obviously to keep some stuff back. We'll go on a bit further. I'm not quite sure how far up this track we have to go.
Yeah, it goes on quite a far way, so I think we'll have to turn back soon.
Oh, righto. We'll go on a little bit further, just in case it opens out.
I think we just need to wait because Margaret's quite a far way away now.
Oh, she'll catch us up. Ooh, it's quite steep and quite hard work on this path. Don't know whether there's any more caves in there. We're rounding the end of the mountain. Path seems to be going off to the right. Don't know.
You're right, that Margaret will catch us.
Oh, I expect she will.
Still
Oh, gosh. Grandad's doing some puffing. It's the trouble with these walks. They're not too easy when you get old. We're coming to another area through this gate. Whew. Now we're coming into a huge cavernous area right on the very top. Another little building, or a couple of buildings. Well, if we can, it's not dangerous. Woo. We've got another board here. See what this one says. Woo.
It says you are here as well.
Yeah. Spoil heaps. Coral reef stones. Breaking drum.
I think I can hear some people.
Oh, there's lots of people probably walking around here, looking at it as well. And that's where we've walked through. And that's in Welsh as well. So that's very interesting. So this is a little area where machines and offices and buildings obviously were. That's the breakhouse drum again, we've seen that. We go through. I can't see how you get into those buildings, Sam. Now we've come onto the very top, and up top there, the golf course. So we might even see a few golf balls come over. You see people up on the top of the rocks over there. Whew. So, that's been 17 minutes. Okay, Sam, we'll have to do our closing speech now. Right, we're on top of Llanymynech Hill, in the quarry. This is Sam's adventure, so we'll call it that when we do it on YouTube. Sam's adventure at Llanymynech. So until we see you again, it's Grandad and Sam saying bye-bye now. Bye-bye.